Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for your patience. I'd like to call to order the Osage Minerals Council regular meeting Friday, November 5th, 2021. Time now is 10:05. With that, I'd like to ask Second Chair Redigal to give us an opening prayer.
Okay, Chairman. Okay. Itachi Wakanda Izinki. Awitsiko me, no, Mak Bele, me, Wajaji, the Nisapi. They can't say Wakanda. Zani, the Wajaji. They can't say Wakanda Izinki. Uheka, the Wakani, Biji, Zanzoli, Pasoli, Wakakoli, the other Wakanda Izinki, Wajaji, Majadi, Majadi, walk by the mineral state, Father. Thank you, Father, for this beautiful day. Thank you for all the seasons you grant us, Father, the fall season, coming into us, Father, in the wintertime, springtime, and summertime, Father. Thank you for all the seasons that you grant us and that you bestow upon us, Father. Bless this meeting, Father. Bless all those that are in attendance today, Father, our mineral council members. Bless their health and their families, Father. Bless all those that are not well at this time, Father, and those that are in bereavement, Father, at this hour. The families, the Kenworthy family, Father, Taylor family, Carter family, Father, and others, Father, that if I haven't failed to mention any, that you forgive me of that, Father. Wakanda, Jinky, Waja, they walk by, this mineral estate is ours, Father. As our people gave it to us, Father. Seen to it that we leave it to the future, Father. Our people set it up for us like that. And remember them days, Father, and carry it on as best we can. Waja, they were. Washka, they were all Washka, they were Joshi. Dia da wakana jinki ia gashena apale wawina ia gashena wakanda jinki. Amen.
Thank you, brother. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Foreman,
Present.
Councilwoman Gray. Here. Councilwoman Harlan,
Here.
Councilman Redcorn,
Here.
Second Chair Redigal,
Here.
Councilman Rebar, Chairman Waller.
Present.
We have a quorum.
And thank you. I've had a request from Councilwoman Foreman. The floor is yours, Ray.
Yes, I wanted to point out two things on the agenda. First of all, as you had agreed, Mark will be on call. Mark Cooper, our data enhancement analysis. I will text him when it's time for him to come speak in our executive session, I believe is where you wanted it.
Yes, ma'am.
And then I had a special request. This is something that's really important, and I wanted to add it to get the council's input. I would like to have the council help me decide if we need to turn over an assignment to our oil and gas attorney on some legal matters concerning who owns pore space for carbon injections and another legal issue regarding the same subject, which needs to be an executive, actually.
Yeah, let's take that to executive and then we'll roll out the motion or resolution if necessary. I think that could easily be directed with my tribal's consensus of the council.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. I do want to make a couple of comments. The council has brought in a training program, which is going to be the Nile GEMS system. The system is brought to you by the DMD. It will be on the honors and TAM system, which is accordingly taking care of our production element now. The council will also have some options. We're getting ready to train the staff. They weren't able to take care of that. What I'd like to talk to my council here that we're going to have the instructors and through Lacey coordinate the time and effort in which you want to have that virtual training done. There's some aspects to it I think are quite refreshing, and I want to thank my council for being here and working so diligently. I do want to mention that we had some guests, not only with our geologist here, but I want to acknowledge the Osage Nation's Realty Department. We had Mrs. Katie Free, Mr. Russell Bellamy. Thank you, dear. And I even have his card. I didn't forget his name. And I want to really appreciate them because this coordination is what I saw as the brightest future. And there were some other elements. Once the council has had some training, I think we can modify the necessity of what Nile Gyms brings us. And I'm very excited about that. We'll be getting back with you for the virtual training. Is there anything else we would need to add? I have a couple of requests today. One is that I have a national meeting at 1 o'clock representing the Osage Nation. I'd like to go as quickly as possible. I see some good items on here, but I think the clarity is, let's keep what we say down to a minimum of approximately 3 minutes each. That's burdening, I know, but that's just like the way to run the big house, so let's go from there. With that, I'd like to go to new business. Second Chair Redigal, gas generation for data and electricity.
Well, you know, Chairman, it won't take very long. Councilman Redcorn is going to assist me on this. We talked to Tony Miller here about a month ago, and I've always kind of talked about cogeneration ever since I've been on the council, even in the second, even on the second mineral council, I talked about it, and we never have really acted on it. And I talked to Councilman Redcorn about it, and we had a meeting with Tony Mueller, a petroleum engineer, and Bill Lynn and myself, as well as Councilman Redcorn, and we discussed it, and then we came to the conclusion that it's a doable thing. And I want to turn it over to Councilman Redcorn. He's the engineer among us, and he can explain just a bit more in detail about what we have in mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Second Chair. My video doesn't seem to be working, so I put video on and okay. Yeah, Mr. Red Eagle has mentioned a few times his desire to.
Councilwoman Foreman, can you hear Councilman?
Yes, it's you. Your voice is coming in kind of softly, but when we're on the computer, we hear each other just fine. It's in the chambers that we have the problem.
Yes, ma'am. Continue, sir.
Thank you. So as Mr. Red Eagle stated, he's interested in looking at generation of using generators in whatever gas infrastructure we have in the reservation, and see if we can meet with DMD, propose whatever they would like for us to put in front of them, and look at two options, being generation and kind of keep it loose. Let us write it up. Let the consultants come in and find and recommend what they think is probably the best option. We looked at generation collecting in the existing pipelines. And then I can't remember, Bitcoin, I think that was the other. Natural gas, yeah. Yeah, so instead of electricity, they sell data, space, storage space, and that, from what I'm hearing, it pays a lot more than your standard electric source. So anyway, I'd like to, if that's okay, Mr. Reddy, go ahead and make a motion that we approach DMD to you to survey our gas resources for power generation and or data generation.
I'll second that.
I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Redcorn, second by Councilwoman Gray. Discussion, please. Unless you'll have to help me on the hands. Yes, Councilwoman Foreman.
Yes, I have my hand up.
I'm aware of that.
Yeah, I think this is a good idea to go to DMD and have them do a feasibility study for this. I just wanted to remind everybody that we had the issue of taking our gas in kind, which was not allowed by the Bureau of Indian Affairs. So that's something that we'll have to work out if we're planning on And maybe it's not a matter of taking it in kind. I don't know, but that is a legal question that will also have to be worked through.
Yes, ma'am.
And
We
that's
have-
all I had, just a suggestion.
Yes, we have complimented that exact issue in a number of councils, and I think that clarity is necessary to allow the full function of this request. Thank you, ma'am. Any other? I have a call for the question, please.
I'm sorry, can we repeat it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it'll be, we're going to submit a request to DEMD to survey gas resources for generation, for power, or data.
You good with that, second chair? Yeah. And second, you're good with that here?
Yes.
Go ahead and call for it.
Councilwoman Foreman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gray,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harlan,
Yes.
Councilman Redcorn,
Yes.
Second Chair Red Eagle,
Yes.
Councilman Rebar,
Yes.
Chairman Waller.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And thank you. Great plan. I know you and I went to Stillwater when I was working with the second, and this might be the right element in our Washington with the presidency and what they're looking at going green. This could really be an avenue for us. Thank you, council. With that, I'd like to move on to item B, contractor for pipe yard. Second Chair Red Eagle, please. I'd rather you guys go ahead and use it. I'm probably not going to.
Thank you, Chair. Back on the pipe yard, Lacey and I have been discussing it for the last couple of weeks or so, and we wanted the Osage Tribal Works to see if they could clean it up for us, but they didn't have enough people, and they didn't have enough resources to do that. So we discussed it, and she said the only way we're going to be able to do it is go through the Osage Nation procurement. So I will make a motion at this time. Therefore, be it resolved, the Osage Mineral Council hereby approves following Osage Nation procurement procedures to obtain a contractor to clean the newly obtained pipe yard. The contractor will be paid from the C-395.
I'll second that.
Thank you, council. I have a motion on the floor by Second Chair Red Eagle, seconded by Councilman Redcorn. Any discussion?
Call for question.
Also, while we're doing the cleanup, we're going to do the inventory the Second Chair and I talked about, and we'll bring anything else up to the council that's necessary for obtaining Code 88 on our buildings. And Councilman Redcorn, I might need your help on that. With that being said, any other questions? Call for a question, please.
I've got a hand up.
Yes, Councilman Rivard.
Thank you. I just now at the last minute, was just thinking, Councilman Red Eagle, would you mind telling us a couple of the things that might be involved in this? I mean, what is it that needs to be cleaned up? What would this contractor be doing?
Yeah, in the yard itself, Councilman Rivard, is there's some structures there that some old tank batteries used to sit on. You know, they're kind of shaped like a U, and there's 2 or 3 of them there that need to be cleaned up. And there's a lot of brush there along the fence lines and different brush around the various buildings there that probably need to be cleaned up. And as far as the warehouse is clean. Everything is taken out of it, and there's quite a bit of room in that warehouse. The deck there, you know, in front of the warehouse, it needs to be fixed. Yeah, the platform needs to be fixed. It's the boards are very unsteady, and just things like that probably need to be looked at and see what can be done. And more than anything, it needs to be just the fence lines need to be cut from all the overgrown trees and things like that.
Is the fence in good shape around the property?
Yes, sir. If I may add, also, once we do the contract and get it in there to clean out, we're looking at the area to put these new pipe racks when we have them delivered to set them up also. We've got to find some footage there. There's room. We just need to cut it and clean it.
Yeah.
You know, I have some concerns about the pipe racks. I don't know if this would be we should discuss it here or in executive. I know that the plugging program, Councilwoman Foreman was gonna discuss the plugging program, but it's my understanding that, we bought some pipe racks at an auction with plugging funds, with the approval of Candy Thomas. They're still sitting in Arkansas. And it's my understanding from talking to Mr. Bill Lynn, our geologist, that we're not authorized to pay to have them transported to our yard. We bought them with plugging money, but we can't use plugging money to move them to the yard. Myron, Councilwoman Red Eagle, is that your understanding?
I explained that in the last meeting, since we had so many topics to discuss. Gary, I talked to Gary Lester way back in probably in August or September, and he had a heart attack in January of this year, and took him a while to get his health back. But he said he went and there's two sets of pipe racks. There was a large set and a small set, and he brought the small set to the Hominy Airport, and that's where they are right now. There's some pipes on it, but he told me, he said, anytime y'all want to come get the racks in Hominy, he said, just let him know. That's where they're
Where's
at.
the large racks?
It's still in Arkansas. It's still in
Okay,
Arkansas.
it's my understanding
Mhm.
that Ms. Thomas will not approve us using the plugging funds to move all of those racks, the small and the large ones, to our yard, which was the purpose of buying the yard. So I'd like some clarification about that. I also understand that, as a favor to the Mineral Council, some of these contractors let us use their own yards for us to store some of our pipe. I think Mr. Lester is one of them.
That's a good idea.
Understanding that Candy Thomas will not authorize us to use the plugging funds to now move the pipe to our own yard.
That's true, yeah.
That decision will be taken to executive. Excuse me. But yes, sir.
Well, that's why I brought it up at first. I didn't know if it's something, this is all kind of new to me, about this situation. So I guess we can discuss it further in executive.
Yes, sir, thank you. Councilwoman Foreman.
My question is unrelated. On the maintenance, is this a one-time job or is it ongoing maintenance?
I imagine it will be just a one-time deal, one-time job, yeah.
Okay, and then the next question would be, since this is Osage Nation property or it's in their name, will they maintain it after that, like mowing and things like that?
Yes, we just have I say yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. That's all I had.
Councilwoman Gray, then I'd like to go to Ms. Thomas.
I know that we said that we were tight on the schedule, so if we can just stick to the agenda and we can always talk about other concerns
I have a motion on
later.
the floor. Would you
Yeah,
like
I
to
call
talk?
for the question.
Mrs. Thomas.
I'll just hold my comments till we get in executive session.
Thank you, dear. Call for the question.
Councilwoman Gray,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harlan,
Yes.
Councilman Redcorn,
Yes.
Second Chair Red Eagle,
Yes.
Councilman Rebar, Councilman Rebar,
Yes.
Thank you.
Chairman Waller,
Yes.
Councilwoman Foreman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Second Chair. We move on down to the next item of business. You have before you the meeting date for 2022. Without further ado, I'd like to make a motion. Do we accept these dates?
Second.
Second, I have a motion on the floor by Chairman Waller, seconded by Councilman Redcorn. Any discussion, please? With that, call for the question.
Councilwoman Harlan,
Yes.
Councilman Redcorn,
Yes.
Second Chair Red Eagle,
Yes.
Councilman Rebar,
Yes.
Chairman Waller,
Yes.
Councilwoman Foreman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gray.
Yes,
Motion passes.
I'd like to entertain a motion to go into executive.
I make a motion.
Thank
Go
you.
into executive.
Second, I have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Gray, seconded by Second Chair Red Eagle. Call for the question, please. Go into executive.
Councilman Redcorn,
No.
Second Chair Red Eagle,
Yes.
Councilman Rebar,
Yes.
Chairman Waller,
Yes.
Councilwoman Foreman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gray,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harlan.
Yes.
Motion passes.
I'd like to take a 5-minute break. I need Lacey to stay with us to make sure that we get BGI into executive. You have the documents available in front of us, and we'll be right back at 10:30.
Okay.
Thank
You turn
you.
off.
Short break.
Hi, Kara. At 10:30, they're starting an executive session, so hop on and. So come on right now.
Yeah, don't come in at 10:30.
She'll sign in. She already has something.